My head and my heart are still hanging on to that idea of us being out on the property and growing old together and co-parenting and co-grandparenting, and like it's gone. I was hearing some feedback from family about, the accusations being made against me. I feel like I've been gaslit by some of the family members.
I think there's a natural jealousy and dislike that they have had toward Robyn, especially Christine and Janelle. It's just a thing that happens in plural marriage.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, December 30th, 2024. I just finished a video where we talked about how Christine Brown, finally Brown Woolley, exposed the plot, the scheme, the plant that Kody and Robyn had the entire time to get married, to divorce him so they could run off into the sunset. And now Robyn is going to pretend for the next 18 episodes, I don't even know. Mary on TikTok, by the way, over the weekend said that this is the halfway point of the season. That means we have a lot more repetitive episodes coming up. We haven't even gotten to Christine's wedding. We already saw Christine's wedding, and for some reason, Christine's wedding is next week, which is weird. We already saw that episode. Regardless, Robyn Brown, never the one to be not controlling and overbearing, went to church with her daughters, and she went church shopping and met with a pastor and a wife. And by the way, this is not the pastor or the wife of the church they decided to attend. Instead, they're attending a charismatic Pentecostal church in Flagstaff. So Robyn and her daughters are at this church and they're talking about all the things. And this is supposed to be about her daughters and them choosing church, and she's literally doing all of the talking. Can you imagine you're 21 years old and you're going to church with your mom and your mom's like talking for you and making it all about herself, not the girls? Like, I don't think Brianna said more than a couple words, but Robyn was speaking about her faith during this period and how, if she had it her way, she would still live polygamy and she would actually take some more sister wives, which secretly means Robyn is on the hunt for new people to fund her lifestyle. Let's check out some of the clips.
My husband is no longer a polygamist, and it's just me and him now. And they both have expressed that they don't want to live plural marriage and they don't want to be a part of what our original church was. They're not interested in fundamentalist Mormonism. And it makes sense that they don't, just because they've watched some really crazy crap go down. And just because this is what I chose for myself doesn't mean that that's what their path is.
Robyn is still hanging on to the dream of being a superior top wife, and I think she's losing her identity because she no longer has anyone to tell that she's better than. She doesn't have anyone to flout that she's thinner or more pretty or the diesel gene model or whatever. She doesn't have anyone to compete with. So now it's like she's going to compete with her daughters when she's at church with them, which is weird. But she said, my husband no longer wants to be a polygamist. And then she also says that her kids don't have to choose plural marriage, which is hysterical because do you guys remember when Maddie didn't want to go to their church anymore and she wanted to go to a different church when they were teenagers? And she basically, Robyn, went bananas and told Maddie that her frontal lobe wasn't developed. And then she also cried on the couch and was like, we're killing ourselves for this religion. Our children should want to live this religion. Why else would we be killing ourselves if we were doing this for our religion? And then she had literally been in the family for 5 minutes and she was saying she was killing herself. Meanwhile, there was ladies that were tired, exhausted, and sick of being Kody's best customer that were like, okay, Robyn, we get it. You're stroking his ego, but our kids are going to do what they're going to do. And now suddenly Robyn is I don't know, 46. And she's like, okay, yeah, my kids can do whatever they want. They don't have to pick it just because I did. Hypocrisy.
I actually had a really positive experience in our church. At this point, it's kind of a non-issue because I don't live anywhere near what my church is. And the basic belief of our church was plural marriage, and that is no longer something my husband wants to do. And we are just, I don't know.
I would love to know what her amazing experience was at church because, as far as I can tell, she was a member of the church as a child. Then she left the church and she hightailed it to Montana. She got wild and crazy with some guys. She got pregnant by David Preston Jessup. She married Preston. They weren't part of the church. She divorced Preston because she apparently wanted to be a polygamist or have multiple plural wives, but really she just wanted to be famous and rich and on a reality show. So then she divorced him, rejoined the church, married Kody, pretended like she was pure, did a stupid purity speech where she told everyone that Preston stole her purity and that her purity was meant for Kody. And then they moved within a year from the church. They didn't go to church after the first season. And for the last 15 years or so, she hasn't been a member of that church, or at least actively. They moved to Vegas in 2011. It's 2014. Okay, so that's 13 years. Well, January of 2011. So 14 years because it'll be 2025 like in a couple days. So for the last 14 years, she's had a positive experience as a top wife in the Church of Kody. But what was her positive experience in her own church? Because according to her, her first dad was abusive and abandoned her, and she has daddy issues. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. And then her second dad didn't acknowledge her in the real world. And so, what was her excitingness? And she had to hide everything that she was a girl that was in the polygamous world. So now she's just what? I think what she liked about being in this family was that she got all the money and she was the favorite. So, of course, her experience was so positive, right? So positive. That's why she's crying all the time, right?
I am. And now I'm like, now who am I? Never pictured myself as a monogamist. Never thought it'd be just Kody and I. I don't think that Kody would ever live plural marriage again. I don't know for sure. If I had a guarantee that it would be something that would be beneficial and we would have a positive, successful experience, I would be interested in living plural marriage again.
Now, hear me out on this. I know that Kody claims that he wants to be a monogamist now with Robyn, but I have a feeling that if Robyn found him another lady, he might actually want another wife. I also have a feeling that Kody was saying that Robyn might get hit on if she goes to church. And you know how they say with narcissists that they project their behavior onto other people? So they're always paranoid about what you're doing because of what they're doing, and they say that you're cheating even though they're the ones that are cheating. What if Kody has been on the DL cheating on her, which he kind of admitted last year at the tell-all? He said that he was doing things and thinking about leaving her. What if he was searching and getting his dingling wet, pencil-y thing that he was talking about, and she knows that he's doing this, right? And so she's going to try to get him back into the church and find him a new, like, get him another wife so that, the cheating isn't actually cheating and it's done under the guise of religion. So hear me out on this. It wouldn't be out of the scope of possibility here that Robyn would go into a church and try to befriend another woman and then lure her into their culture. I mean, cult, and the cult of Kody, that is. And, there was polygamists they had on the show. Remember that Nathaniel guy from Missouri? They just met some lady at church and convinced her to be a polygamist with them. Remember that? He got arrested, by the way. But I would have a icky feeling about this. I have an icky feeling about her walking into a regular church, still wanting to be a plural wife, still wanting to have more wives in the family, not giving up on this concept of being a goddess. I mean, really what she's saying is, I don't want to give up on my godlike status. I lost my godlike status. I like being a god, right? What if she's going into the church to try to recruit people? Because she said if she found the right person, she would do it again if it was in the perfect situation. And she keeps saying, my husband doesn't want to do it. Well, Robyn has this weird belief that she can convince Kody to do anything, right? She thinks that if she's just masterful enough, she can stroke his ego just enough. I don't know. Let's see where this goes.
But I would need some sort of guarantee just because this experience of the family falling apart has been so traumatic. Marrying a plural wife is very sacred and very serious. And can't just be done with anyone. It has to be done with the right people, the people who have been given the authority to perform those marriages.
So Robyn is walking into this situation and she says, I would have another wife. I would, as long as there would be a guarantee that it would go well, which is hysterical. There's no way to guarantee that it would go well. And then she calls the family blowing up traumatic, even though she's the one that made the family blow up and she's the one that caused the trauma. Now she's traumatized because they left her. And now she's also accusing them of gaslighting her. And Kody still thinks they're jealous of her, which if you've watched the season, no one seems to give a crap what Robyn's doing this year at all. I mean, Christine doesn't even really have a lot to say. I mean, she does, but she doesn't. She's busy with David. Mary's like more worried about moving on, and Janelle doesn't even have a storyline lately. Janelle hasn't had a storyline in like, I don't know, 6 episodes at this point. So Robyn's storyline right now is all about like trying to make Robyn insightful, demure, faithful, pure, you know? And so she's going into this looking for a church. But what I think is just weird is that she believes in the Mormon faith. She's not going to find the God that she knows at that church. And so she's going to be holding on to those beliefs at a church with other women that don't think like she does. And that's dangerous because she could walk into that church and try to convert women to become like her and to become wives. And this is what this church does. They use women to go into other churches to find women to be converted into their new religion. And Cody's not willing to let go of the Mormon faith. He even says that in this episode. Like he's estranged from the faith, but he won't let go of the faith, meaning that Kody still is attached to this concept also of being a god. So, what again if she's going into the church on the DL looking for a girlfriend for Kody? This is the same time, by the way, that Robyn and Kody met with one of the brethren trying to get a branch of the church in Arizona. They're not going to tell you that on the show, right? They're not going to tell you that we met with the brethren. We're trying to get them to come, let us open a branch down here. They're not going to tell you that. But she's looking for, I think she's scoping for new dates for Kody.
And this is the thing too, I wouldn't ever live it again without being a part of our church, like very active in our church. I just don't see how one works without the other. I'm feeling weird about even considering going to church somewhere else because my church and my beliefs were such a big part of who I am. My beliefs really shaped my path, like where I was going, who I was willing to date.
So here's the thing. Kody doesn't want to have to be in charge of anybody else, right? He doesn't want to have to bend to the authority of anyone else. He wants to be like the king of his domain, the king of his castle. And even though on the show he's trying to pretend like he's calm and collected about what she's doing, I just can't help but think that this whole thing is like a setup. And that's just maybe I have too many conspiratorial thoughts, but it reminds me of how they were able to get Janelle and how they were probably able to get Kody and how they're able to like lure people into their group. They meet people who have a faith, then they proselytize to them their faith, teach them the good news of the Mormon church, convert them into that faith, and then tell them their only way that they can get to heaven is through plural marriage. Kody believes in polygamy still, even though he claims he doesn't. And later in the episode, after they get back from church, Cody's trying to convince his daughters that they go to the LDS church with friends in Wyoming. And I can't help but think that maybe they went to Wyoming and they ran into Ken, his buddy Ken, and he wants to bring the girls into the LDS church. He said that he wants his kids to have the same experience in the LDS church as he did or in the fundamentalist church. So, again, what if Kody is playing the role of being backed off from faith, but then Robyn's going into this? And she even said she feels weird about going into a church when she doesn't believe like they do because of what her faith is. I have this icky feeling that this is all her trying to find someone for Kody because Kody used his wives to find him dates. He would put them in situations where they thought it was their idea, right? With Mary, with whoever, making them believe like, oh, you wanted this. So you want to go to church. You want to go to church, but I don't want you to go for too long by yourself because I don't want them to think that you're single. Okay. Meaning, could you please find me a girl at the church? Because why would you walk into a Christian faith that you don't believe in? It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. She's not going to have her spiritual cup met at a church that doesn't practice the fundamentalist Mormon belief system that she loves and has put her entire identity around. She doesn't want to let go of that faith. And if you are a true believer, going into another church that's Christian that doesn't believe that way is like blasphemy. You're like committing an ultimate sin. You're not fulfilling the fullness of the gospel. And if her mission is on earth to find more people for their kingdom and to build their mighty kingdom up so that they can become god and goddesses in the celestial kingdom, and if Robyn still believes that she needs to have more wives so that she can reach that level and get to eternity to be with her family, she's going to have incentive to try to find new women for Kody, even though Kody says he doesn't want to do it. And I only, again, say this because a lot of times these guys will make claims like this, like, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not looking for other women. Kody said that he didn't flirt with women, right? He always flirted with women. Kody said he never went out and scoped out women. He admitted 2 episodes ago that he met Robyn and scoped her out ahead of time. Of course, Cody's looking for his new piece. Kody gets bored. Do you really expect a man that's been in a relationship with so many wives and had all these women fighting over him and his attention? Do you really think he would be satisfied just now being alone with one woman with the amount of ego that Kody Brown has? I don't know. They never tell you the truth on the show, especially Kody and Robyn. So if that was their ulterior motive here, it's creepy. But again, she's walking into a church that she doesn't believe in, believing that she needs to still be polygamous and would find more wives for Kody. Does anyone else find this icky? Anyone else creeped out by this? And then later in the episode, Cody's like, "Yeah, do you want to go back to the LDS church?" I mean, you're picking up what I'm putting down? They are using the women to find more wives, and Cody's losing his stepdaughters that he claimed. Part of me also wonders if the storyline about them not wanting plural marriage is so that fans will stop speculating that Cody's going to take them as wives. I mean, I could see them doing that too. But what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that Robyn actually wants to be a plural wife, or if she's just having an identity crisis? Do you think she would go to the church to try to find Kody dates? Do you think Kody would use her in that way? I do. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Bye, everyone.